She told me, if you take that residency, don't bother coming back. So I packed my scrubs, left the rent paid, and disappeared. Now she's back home calling me emotionally abusive while building a brand off the man she tried to hold back. I'm Ryan, 31, from Philadelphia. I've never been the kind of guy who saw life in absolutes, until recently. Lexi and I met during my second year of med school. She was 24, working as a photographer. We bumped into each other at a coffee shop, literally. I spilled half my latte on her laptop bag. I offered to replace it, she laughed it off, and somehow, by the end of that week, we had gone on 3 dates. Lexi had this vibrant energy. She made life feel lighter. I was buried in anatomy textbooks and caffeine-fueled all-nighters, and she had this way of making space for joy. Sunday farmers markets, spontaneous road trips, cooking pasta at 2 a.m. Slowly, she started spending more nights at my apartment than her own. Eventually, she just stayed, and I didn't mind. In fact, I liked it. Over the next few years, we talked about building a life together. Nothing official like an engagement, but we had those what-if conversations, weddings, houses, kids. She even picked out names once, half joking, but I remembered them. This spring, I got matched with a trauma surgery residency program in Seattle. It's one of the best in the country. 3 years, high intensity, but the kind of opportunity that people in my field dream about. I'd worked nearly a decade for this. College, med school, clinical rotations, grueling shifts. Lexi knew how much it meant to me. When I told her, she just stared at me. No smile, just a pause, and then, Seattle? What about us? I didn't get it at first. I said, yeah, I know it's far, but we talked about this. You said you'd be up for a change. Remember, rainy days and endless coffee? She shook her head like those conversations were some fantasy we had made up. I have my work here, my life, my identity. You want me to drop all of it to follow your career? That hit harder than I expected, especially because for the past few years, she hadn't been working full-time. A few weddings, some baby shoots, and a lot of editing at home. Meanwhile, I paid most of our rent, covered her health insurance, groceries, everything during my rotations. But I never made her feel like she owed me anything. Her photography made her happy, and I thought we were a team. I tried reasoning with her. Come with me for a few months. Just try it. I'll help you set up a space in Seattle. You can keep your Philly clients remotely, fly back sometimes. We can make this work. She looked at me like I'd just insulted her. I'm not going to be a doctor's shadow, Ryan. I'm not sacrificing my life for your ego. That one stung. My ego? This was my future. And then came the sentence I'll never forget. If you take that residency, don't bother coming back. I sat there quietly for a few seconds. It felt like all the years we'd spent together suddenly shrank into this one moment. I didn't raise my voice, didn't beg or argue. I just said, okay. I don't think she believed I meant it. That weekend, Lexi left for a 3-day trip with her friends, something she planned weeks earlier. She didn't mention our argument again before she left. No apology, not even a casual, let's talk when I'm back. It was like she expected the whole thing to blow over, like it always had when we disagreed. But I couldn't shake it. Her words echoed in my head. Don't bother coming back. It didn't feel like a test or an exaggeration. It felt like a boundary, one I wasn't going to beg to cross. So while she was gone, I packed. I didn't touch her stuff, just mine. My scrubs, textbooks, stethoscope, laptop, some family photos. The old acoustic guitar my dad gave me before he passed. I left the furniture, the TV, the dishes, even the kitchen gadgets she always said I hoarded. I paid off the next 2 months of our shared lease, still in my name, so she'd have breathing room. Left the car we co-signed in the garage with the title signed over. And on the kitchen counter, I left the apartment keys, along with a handwritten note that simply said, you said not to come back if I took the job. So I didn't. That was it. I flew out to Seattle 2 days later. My phone stayed quiet, until it didn't. She didn't call. She posted. First it was Facebook, *5 years. Gone in a blink. I guess ambition is worth more than love. Then Instagram stories, moody black and white selfies, a playlist called Left Behind, a quote post about emotional abandonment. The comments poured in, you deserve better, his loss. Men will choose their careers over real love every time. Meanwhile, I was 2,800 miles away, eating gas station trail mix while trying to assemble an IKEA bed in my tiny Seattle studio. What got me wasn't the drama of her posts. It was the erasure of the truth. She painted herself as this ride-or-die partner who got tossed aside for a job. But 5 years of support? Let's be honest. I was juggling rotations, exams, and debt while she filtered latte shots and posted reels captioned, Monday mood. I cooked dinner after 12-hour shifts while she scrolled through Pinterest looking for inkpot for her brand. And I never once made her feel like she wasn't enough. I wanted her to succeed. I encouraged her art, her independence. She didn't call until a week later. It was a voice note, almost 6 minutes long. She was crying. Her voice cracked as she said she didn't mean it, that I should have known she was scared and just needed reassurance. That if I really loved her, I would have fought for us harder. But the thing is, I had fought. Every time she doubted us. Every time she shut down my dreams with "what about me?" I pushed forward, trying to find middle ground. I was tired, not of her, but of always having to be the one who compromised. She started reaching out to our mutual friends, telling them I ghosted her. Some believed her, at first. But slowly, the story started to unravel. One friend confided Lexi had done something similar in a past relationship, that she had a habit of guilt tripping, of controlling by withdrawal. And I started to realize, maybe I hadn't been the only one fighting all these years. Maybe she'd just been resisting everything that asked her to grow with me. 2 months into the residency, I wake up most days before the sun rises and get home well after it's gone. My legs ache. My back feels like it's aged a decade. I've learned how to nap in supply closets and eat standing up. But weirdly, I feel grounded. Fulfilled, even. There's a rhythm here that makes sense. The team is intense, but supportive. I've made a few friends who get it. The exhaustion, the pressure, the strange joy of seeing someone come through the ER doors and actually walk out again. I started hiking on weekends when I can. Something Lexi always teased as fake nature therapy. But out here, in the stillness of Washington trails, I feel clearer than I have in years. My studio apartment is small, but it's mine. The bed is near the window, and if I crack it open in the morning, I can smell coffee from the shop downstairs. The hospital cafeteria's food is still questionable, but I've learned which vending machines have the good snacks. Little things matter now. I haven't heard from Lexi again since the voice note, but I've seen the updates. She moved back in with her sister in Philly and launched a new photography series called Healing Through Art. Her website describes it as empowering women after emotional abandonment. Her Instagram bio now reads, "Survivor. Creator. Soft, but strong." A few mutual friends messaged me awkwardly after she launched it. Some confused, some trying to stay neutral. I didn't respond. I'm not angry, and I'm not trying to correct the record. Let her write her version. If I'm the villain in her story, I'll live with that. The truth is, I didn't leave her out of spite. I left because she made it clear I wasn't allowed to grow if it meant she had to change, too. You can't love someone only in the version of their life that makes you comfortable. I spent years thinking that if I just kept showing up, sacrificing, making space, she'd see that we could build something real together. But real love doesn't come with ultimatums. It doesn't punish you for achieving what you've worked your whole life for. It doesn't ask you to shrink. Lexi didn't want a partner. She wanted someone orbiting her. Someone safe, static, available on her terms. And maybe she loved the version of me who was still grinding through school, still needing saving, still wondering if I was good enough. But I outgrew that version. And she didn't want to meet me at the next chapter. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if she had just said, "Let's figure it out." If she had visited, seen Seattle, stood beside me in that moment. But she didn't. And that silence, that choice, said more than any long message or tearful voice note ever could. I'm learning to be okay with that. I still keep her last voice note saved. Not to re-listen, just to remind myself that not every "I love you" comes with action behind it. And not every shared history means there's a shared future. So yeah, I drove across the country into something unknown and difficult and beautiful. Because at the end of the day, I didn't choose ambition over love. I chose a kind of love that included me too.